Morning, guys. Today I'm going to go ahead and do energy bites. So this week we're looking at snacks and we're talking about different foods, a snack versus a treat. And this would be one that I would probably categorize as both. It does have some good stuff in it for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We always talk about, always before you do get started, make sure that you have your hair back and your hands washed, which I always start that before the video. And I know that some of you hate the sound of like metal on metal. So I do typically try not to use my metal my metal measuring utensils when I'm making these videos, but it is going to be easier for me to wipe out with the peanut butter. So the peanut butter is my least favorite, one of my least favorite things to measure. Not necessarily because I don't like it. I don't love cleaning it, okay? So one little trick you could do is you could put, I had somebody show me this once, if you would just put a little bit of like vegetable oil in and then you could wipe it out, that will make it easier. Typically what I do, and if, in class we do it with shortening and it's very similar, just because it is a little bit easier to wash for your dishwasher, I'm just going to take a paper towel before I even stick it in water and I'm just going to wipe that out, okay? And then I'll probably still set it in something to soak a little bit because peanut butter is a little bit difficult, but just to kind of get that going, we'll start there. So we're going to start with our 2/3 cup peanut butter. Then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of honey, okay? I will tell you, it should be creamy peanut butter. I've never actually made it with crunchy because we don't really buy crunchy peanut butter. And for this, I am going to measure it over the bowl because honey is thick and it will level itself out, okay? And honey is not only thick, but it is also sticky, okay? So we're just going to scrape that out. I'm going to rest this on my paper towel so I'm not making a huge, let me skip this back. So I'm not making a huge mess. When we think about treats versus snacks, and I know I talk about this a lot, but a treat should be something that you enjoy, that you look forward to. Maybe it doesn't have a lot of nutritional power, okay? Maybe it's not something that's, going to benefit you in a lot of nutritional ways, but it's a treat. You like it, you look forward to it, and that's okay. All right. I always say, you hear me say it all the time, you can eat anything, but you don't need to eat everything. Okay. And that is definitely true when we're thinking about treats versus snacks. So a lot of times, even in our house for my own kids, I'm hungry. Can I have fruit snacks? Fruit snacks are not necessarily a snack. That would be a treat. Okay. Not that I don't let them eat fruit snacks. You can eat a fruit snack if you want, but if you're hungry, just a teaspoon of vanilla. If you're hungry, you want to go for something that's going to give you a little bit of nutritional oomph. Okay. So we talk about, we're also going to use a 1/2 cup of flaxseed. Okay. Can you guys see this? So I got this probably at Walmart, which you guys know I am not always, raving about Walmart, not necessarily because, I hate them or anything like that. I just don't really like to go. But I have not seen flaxseed at Aldi. And at Sam's Club, it would be such a large portion. I'm not sure I would want it. These are mini chocolate chips. Can you see that? So I like to use the mini. You don't have to. You could use regular. To be honest, we have even used M&Ms before when we've made these. We do make these kind of a lot. Just because they are good, they're good for you, they stay with you, they're easy to make. Kensington will make these, she'll kind of go in spurts. And then I'm just going to use my oats, my 1 cup. I'm going to scoop that out. Of course, I'm going to make a little bit of a mess because I'm me. And then I'm going to level it off, okay? Because again, I know we talk about how important it is to do that. And there are some things, you're going to eyeball it or whatever. But for the most part, you don't really want to do that, okay? Because when we're talking about oats, if we have too many, that's really going to dry this out. Okay, then I'm just going to use my rubber bowl scraper, and I'm going to mix these up. Now, I mentioned that we make these a lot. They're not necessarily low calorie. If you notice the stuff that I put in them, nothing that's going to be like crazy healthful. Some people will put like raisins or craisins, things like that. My family doesn't really like those. And again, what am I doing? Am I trying, is this going to be their healthiest food of the day? Probably not, but this is a snack that I'm not really going to feel bad about if they are going to grab one. Okay. So we're going to make these super easy. Just kind of mix those up. Make sure you scrape the bottom of the bowl or you're going to have some dried oats down there. And then we're going to take just a tray. Honestly, you could even do this in a plate. If you plan to make them ahead to freeze them, you could put them right in that container. And then we're just going to take a spoon. Now, a lot of times I will tell you with cookies that you don't have to use your hands. With these, they are going to be dry, so you're going to want to use your hands. It's up to you how many you plan to make on these. I'll kind of think about taking, a bite. Okay, so this isn't necessarily, because again, it's not that these are super low cal, but it has some good stuff in it that if you're just kind of craving something sweet, you want something that's going to have a little bit of nutrition. That flaxseed is good for you, with protein. We know peanut butter is, a lot of times though we think, oh, it's peanut butter, it's healthy. You got to be careful with that because I know I love peanut butter too, but we just kind of have to be careful. So I'll just kind of make them like bite size like this. At some point I'm going to get better at this. And then I'll put them on this tray. Then I'm going to pop them in the refrigerator or the freezer for about 15 to 30 minutes, just so they can kind of harden, kind of set up a little bit. And then you can leave them out. You don't have to keep them in the refrigerator or the freezer. I typically do. I'll freeze some, or I will, if, depending on if I'm making them for like a weekend, we're doing stuff. I will freeze some, put some in the refrigerator, leave them in a bowl, and then they're good to go. But this is a really quick, you guys saw how quick and easy this one was. This is a pretty good one. So, okay, if you have any questions, let me know today. I know that it is not necessarily a learning day, so I'm going to go ahead. I'll post this anyway, and then I'll probably post your optional assignment. I would like to do that today. I know that some of you are still working on the pancakes, which that would just be, you need to answer those pancake questions and then make some pancakes. So, okay, I hope you guys are doing good and you're staying healthy and you're having a good week. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.